Hi, my name is Gayane Kulikian, and I'm a coach who works with immigrants, specifically the ones who feel lost and somehow unfulfilled. And I support them in experiencing fulfilling lives, relationships, and also supporting them in reaching their fuller potentials in life. And I wanted to create this video to specifically address the issue of grief. I know it's a painful emotion. Not many of us actually enjoy allowing ourselves to feel the grief and allowing it to move through us. And many immigrants, when they arrive, there's actually no time for grieving because they need to settle, they need to earn money, they need to take care of families, and so grief usually gets pushed aside. And once immigrants get used to the lifestyle they've created and they have certain structures in life, it's kind of, they just keep moving down that track, and there is no attention paid usually to the emotional life. So I wanted to create this opportunity to have the time to slow down, to gently and gradually allowing grief to surface. And I wrote a blog post about it, just also naming some of the losses that immigrants experiencing as far as crossing the ocean in most cases and changing countries. So there's a geographical relocation, and with that there's also, for many immigrants and refugees included, there is a sense of loss that is experienced, including a loss of identity, not quite belonging in either country after a certain period of time of living in a new place, and just a sense of even disconnect from relatives that might be left behind. Also, in case of refugees, there's also a disconnect from the homeland, in which not only the refugees arriving here in this country have experienced, but also the generations prior. Like in my case, we had at least 4 generations that grew up and lived and were born in a country that I had to flee with my family. So there's definitely that disruption that happens, in a sense of just loss that is naturally experienced during those times. And unless we allow ourselves to move into the territory of grief, we are going to live our lives shut down. We won't allow ourselves to feel the full spectrum of emotions that is available, and usually joy is shut down and left in those kind of gray areas as well. So the invitation is to start moving in that direction if you haven't already. And if you want to kind of start to practice working with grief, remembering that it's not a linear process. Grief comes and goes and kind of comes in waves and then subsides. So one of the things you can try just asking yourself is just a simple question: how can I start befriending my grief? And just sit with that question, and instead of thinking through the answer, just allow something to arise into your awareness. How can I start befriending my grief? If you want to move a little bit deeper, you can also do a writing exercise. Start out with this prompt: I remember, and then continue writing. You can set a timer for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Just allow the words to flow. If there are emotions that arise, allow them to come to the surface as well. Just make sure you're not overwhelming yourself. And if you just touch on that grief for a second or 2 or 3 or a minute, that's enough. There is no need to push yourself or force yourself to feel it. There's a sense of numbness around the grief or a sense of disconnect from it. Just notice that as well. The key is just to presence every moment of the process, so that you can be consciously moving through that journey. And so that's another practice you can take on. And if you want to go deeper, I'm going to be hosting a workshop on October 29th locally in Mission Viejo, Southern California. It's just open to no more than 14 participants, and we'll just have an intimate circle. We'll be doing some body movement practices, some writing prompts as well. I'll have some music there as well, so we can communally support each other through the grieving processes. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or send me an email. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I also send out newsletters twice a month. If you want to receive those, just subscribe. I'll include a link below as well. Wishing you all the best for now. Take care of yourself. Bye.